What is going on, everybody? I wanted to announce this one before I get into the video, so there's going to be a bit of a transition, but I'm going to be doing a giveaway for a ElGato Stream Deck. The regular size one with 15 buttons on it, I'll be doing a giveaway on a regular version of one of those. So if you're interested in that, check out my Twitter. It's basically Ebontis on Twitter. You can find it. It will be pinned to my basically Twitter page. There's going to be different ways to get entrances in there, things like that. So check that one out. I'll be doing a giveaway for one of those, and it's going to last for about 2 to 3 weeks. So I want to get this week before Shadowkeep, and also some of the new players that are going to be coming in. Hook one of you guys up with a full-blown stream deck. So check that one out. Follow me on Twitter, or at least find me on Twitter for the link, and you guys can find ways to enter into that one. So let's get to the video. A lot of stuff to prepare for Shadowkeep, so let's talk about it. Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here. We have less than a week from Shadowkeep, so I wanted to get this video out to go over just about everything that you need to be doing between now and the launch of Shadowkeep. First thing, the day before Shadowkeep comes out, Destiny 1, Destiny 2 are going to be completely offline for a 24-hour maintenance. Now, server reset is typically 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, so if you take a Tuesday reset when Shadowkeep is likely to launch at, for me it's noon, but it's 10 a.m. Pacific, go back 24 hours, Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific, I'm pretty sure Destiny is going offline, and it is going to be offline for 24 hours. So there are some things, if you're working on anything before then, it needs to be done before that time, and then Shadowkeep will be launching the day before. Now, there's some things that you can do beforehand that are going to be somewhat beneficial if you really want to knock them out. Some are not necessary, and then some you're probably going to want to knock out if you're close to like resets of Valor and things like that. So I'm going to go through basically everything I can think of that you might want to do when it comes to the reset for Shadowkeep. So, up until Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific, these are the things that you're probably going to want to be able to, if you want to spend time playing, you can work on these. If you want to take a break, just make sure there's some of the stuff you might want to check off. But other than that, this is the stuff that's probably going to need to get done. First off, and probably one of the top ones, if you are working on any Pinnacle weapon, whether you need Valor, Glory, or Infamy, any type of resets for those, especially if you're going for Glory for Fabled or anything of that nature, make sure and have that done before it goes offline, because when Shadowkeep starts, all of those go back to 0. So if you're working on Recluse, if you're working on Mountaintop, if you're working on 21% Delirium, anything related to that for Valor, you may need those for 5 resets for Redrix if you're trying to grind that crazy thing out. All of that goes back to 0 on October 1st, so make sure, and if you need to spend time grinding, do it before Monday at 10 a.m. because that is when it will go away and go back to 0 and you get to start over, which is less fun. So work on any Pinnacle weapon that you want to. Things like Wendigo, Hush, Revoker, things that either have an accumulation of points or score or kills or things like that, that stuff's not going away. But it's just if you need a certain amount of Valor, like Revoker's different. You just accumulate the points. But if you need to get to Fabled for Recluse, for example, and you're not quite there and you don't get it, it's not like it's going to stay. You're going to reset back to 0. So make sure all of those ranking resets of Valor, Glory, and Infamy are done before everything goes offline on Monday. So definitely knock it out Sunday before you go to bed, because unless you just work weird hours, probably not going to get it done. Second thing, there are certain materials that you're probably going to want to hold on to, and certain things that you're probably okay getting rid of. When it comes to your inventory, the things that you're going to want to basically hold on to as much as you can are going to be planetary materials, enhancement cores. So right now, stop infusing anything up to 750. The big thing about Shadowkeep that's going to happen, every single weapon, piece of armor, and character in this entire game is going to be 750. So I know I'm showing 748 right now, even with just what I'm wearing. This will be 750, and everything I'm wearing, every single thing in every slot is going to be 750. So do not infuse anything else up yet. Hold on to every single enhancement core you can. If you can go through and get those gunsmith bounties for more cores done in the next few days, you got 5 days, you can earn a few more cores. Go for it. Do it across a couple characters. Enhancement cores are going to be huge for leveling up your armor, for infusion. You're going to want as many of those as you can. Now, they said they're going to give you different sources to get them in Shadowkeep, but honestly, when it comes to enhancement cores, having as many as possible is always a good thing. Now, that is just one thing of materials. I mean, yeah, you could play without them, but that's one of those things you're probably going to want to do. When it comes to material farming, if you have Dusklight Shards, microphasic data lattice, any materials that are going to be used for infusion, try and stock some of that stuff up if you want to. Planetary bounties and stuff like that from, you know, Devrim K, go get some EDZ bounties, knock those out. You can get 30 materials a day, 30 Dustlike shards a day in 5 days. You can still have 150 if you really want to. Do it across multiple characters, you might even get more. So if you need some of anything just to make sure you got a decent stockpile for basic infusions as you work on stuff, materials are something that you're going to want. These prime engrams I've got up here, you don't need to keep those. They're just going to be stuck at 750, so you may as well just get your shards, break them down, and get rid of them because most of them aren't going to matter. When it comes to the Eververse, there are quite a few things that are going to happen there. So first, you've got your Eververse bounty notes. I have a lot of these. I'm probably not going to be able to use them on all the bounties, and I think the bounties will likely be going away that Tess holds on to. Now, you can break each one of these Eververse bounty notes down into 5 Bright Dust. So for me, I'm going to get about 1,500 Bright Dust from this giant stack if I don't buy any bounties. Now, if you can go through and get a few bounties that she has for the week, like Negate Vex, Burn the Hive, there's a couple I can get, and they're probably going to be cheaper than breaking down the bounty notes. I don't know what's going to happen to the bounty notes. I haven't seen a big confirmation on those, if we're just going to break them down later, if the bounties are still going to be there. I'm not really 100% clear on that one. You can break some, like, try and get as many bounties done as you can, and then maybe break down a decent chunk of these bounty notes for some Bright Dust in case you can't use them again. But maybe if the bounties stay around, hold on to a little bit so you could buy some, you know, notes on the first day and take advantage of that next week. That's another thing. Also from Eververse, anything that comes from Eververse, you should basically break down. Now, I would say most of it. Not every 100% thing possible, but I'm going to say about 95% of it you're probably going to want to get rid of. Now, take Ghost, for example. Most of these will break down into Bright Dust. Now, most planets, not really too concerned when it comes to their materials, and even in the Dreaming City, I'm not. But there's literally a bounty most of the time that, you know, pick up 15 of the Dreaming City planetary material. And I have a combo detector Ghost with Guiding Light on it and Omni Telemetry. Pretty well-rounded set of perks. Might hold on to this thing for a little while. Take this one, for example. Experience on European Dead Zone, Glimmer from European Dead Zone, and Omni Telemetry as well. Yeah, the Sunshot Shell might be cool, but really it's not going to do me any good. And when you break this something like this down in Shadowkeep, it's going to break down into Legendary Shards, which I've got plenty of. What I would rather have is Bright Dust, which is likely to become harder to come by. So I'm going to go ahead and break down my Sunshot Shell, get my 500 Bright Dust from it, and go ahead and move on with my way. You probably only need to keep a couple, like, perfectly rolled ghosts, maybe one for each character. And you're going to be spending a lot of time on the moon anyway, so hopefully we get a moon ghost, and I'll replace this thing. But I mean, if I have, you know, Treasure Hunter, Omni Telemetry, and EDZ Scanner, this one can probably go. This is a duplicate. This is a Tangled Shore combo detector. Not bad. I might hold on to this one. I had been using this thing, but I have a Dreaming City experience log and combo detector. Dreaming City combo detector and Guiding Light also give me experience. So while I do like this pretty shell and it got me my Curse Breaker, I don't need it anymore. Same rule applies to when it comes to Sparrows. Keep your favorite one that has less time to summon. Get rid of the rest of them. Same thing when it comes to ships. If you have one you really like, you can pull everything from collections for Bright Dust or whatever it's going to be, possibly for shards even, which will be better. You can pull everything later from the collection. So right now, break it all down. Now, there's a ship that you can pull out of your collection for cheaper than you're going to be able to break it down for. I think the ship is the one from the Black Armory. It's the kind of cool jet fighter looking one that's kind of black and red. I think people are buying that from the collections for like 2,000 and you break it down for 5,000. So they're just stockpiling a crap ton of those into their vault. And then when it gets to Shadowkeep time, they're going to break them down and basically hit the Glimmer Cap quicker. I'm not really going to do that, but if you have the ship from Black Armory, that is something you can do. Pyro probably has a good video about that. I'm sure he's done those before. But yeah, basically any cosmetic that's going to break down into Bright Dust, break it down, you don't need it. And that includes cosmetic armor as well. If you have a piece of armor that is 100% cosmetic, and it's usually going to be one of those that's worth like 10 light level, break that down too, because you are not going to need it anymore, because you can pull it. It's going to probably turn into an ornament for one. Old armor is not going to matter for a magnitude of reasons, and you'll take the Bright Dust over what it's going to be worth anyway. Another thing you can probably do, and this is, you know, everybody's going to have their own thoughts about this one, but your vault, I'm not touching my weapons. I'm going to leave every weapon I've got, because say my Tiger Spite with Outlaw and Kill Clip feels really good come Shadowkeep's buff. Maybe that one's going to be great. I have a Nightwash with Threat Detector and Multi-Kill Clip. I don't know, but Scout Rifles are going to get a buff. I don't know how the weapons are going to feel, so I'm not going to mess with those right now. I'll break those down later. But I am breaking down a lot of my armor. I had probably like 40 helm. Yes, I'm a pack rat. Fully aware. I'm a hoarder. I accept that. But I had about 40 helms. I'm down to about 10 across all of my characters. And even these, I'm really not going to want to keep. I'm keeping some that seem like, hey, they might be useful if I go into a raid on the first week and I don't have quite all the perks I want. Some may be okay, but generally most of this is going to get replaced because Armor 2.0 is going to be able to use the new mods. You're going to be able to use the mods from the artifact, which really are not going to be usable in this, and you're going to have the different stat rolls and even higher stat tiers that come from Pinnacle activities. So at some point, every piece of armor that you own right now is going away. Now, I don't know what that means when it comes to, say, my Notorious set. I'm going to keep my Notorious set and probably one of the other couple pieces that I've got, just because that was a hell of a grind, and until I figure out how that's going to work in Shadowkeep, I'm holding on to those. But I have a pair of boots down here for Legs of Optimacy for my Warlock. Those are going away. Those are going to turn into Bright Dust. And most of these as well, Submachine Gun Scavenger, Submachine Gun Reserves, like all these marks, I don't need them. I'm going to get them replaced. If there's one that I think is like perfect, Absolution Heavy Ammo Finder, maybe it's cool, but honestly, probably not even worth keeping. Linear Fusion Reserves? Nah, probably not really going to worry about Linear Fusion Reserves. Rocket Reserves and Insulation? I'm getting rid of most of it. Basically, all I'm keeping is what I would consider really optimal rolls. A good example of that is take one of my gauntlets here. Enhanced Rocket Launcher Loader and in Rocket Launcher Scavenger. That one's like a really, really good rocket launcher roll. If for some reason the new Crazy Void exotic rocket launcher is amazing, and I don't have this exotic rocket launcher loader and scavenger loadout for a while, I can infuse this one thing up, take advantage of the new rocket launcher, and then eventually when I earn these two new mods, if I get enhanced rocket launcher loader from the raid, or I get rocket launcher scavenger from wherever these perks are going to come from, or the new mods, then I can go ahead and break this thing down when it's been replaced. So eventually all of this is going to be broken down because every new Armor 2.0 piece of armor is going to eventually be better than all of these. Now exotics, same principle. If you have a great roll, it's fine, but you're going to be able to pull every single exotic that you have from your collections as Armor 2.0 on October 1st. So if I sit here and I take my Ashen Wake that has a decent roll, Hand Cannon Loader and Sniper Scavenger. I still hate Ashen Wake because it's really not the greatest thing in the world, but it's okay. If I break this down, I'm going to get a new piece of exotic armor in Shadowkeep that has all 6 stats on it rolled, and it's also going to give me the new mod sockets that come with it. So exotics are going to be changing over, so even all of these are probably going to get outdated. So the main thing here is most of your armor is going to be worth deleting if it's not like an amazing roll. Grenade Launcher Loader and Scavenger, Grenade Launcher still output a lot of damage. But do I really need to hold on to a pair of boots that's Fusion Rifle Dexterity and Special Ammo Finder? Probably not. So clear out your vault, get all the cores, get all the materials you can, go through, make space because you're going to be picking up a lot of stuff. What else have we got? Catalysts. If you're working on catalysts for any exotics. Take Prometheus Lens, for example. If I'm working on kills, if I'm running around, work on your catalysts. Some catalysts are probably going to be more, needed than others. Sunshot, Graviton, Lance, Sweet Business, Crimson, those all potentially are getting some pretty high valuable buffs to them. So if you have the catalyst for them from eons ago, or you've got it to drop recently, and you can finish up that catalyst and you're farming things for whatever you're working on, then that catalyst is actually potentially going to be even more valuable when those weapons get buffed. So if there's any catalysts for any weapons, like Wardcliff Coil, Darcy, some of these things, like Darcy, potentially with a sniper buff, has a chance to be powerful. If you've got the catalyst, go start shooting stuff in the face with this thing. So catalysts are going to be worth grinding out. Now, these are going to kind of get into some things when it comes to how much time do you want to spend playing Destiny 2 before you go play a crap load of Destiny 2 and Shadowkeep. These are more of the optional things, and we'll get to those in just one second. I have one more thing. Mods. Most of your mods, as I was saying, these are not going to work in Armor 2.0. My 25 super mods that are armor mods, those are not going to work in the new Armor 2.0 armor. Now, if I want to keep 5 of these super mods, and it's going to be for, when it comes to the first raid, there's 5 days. Maybe you won't get all the armor pieces you want, or maybe you won't get all the mods that you want for new Armor 2.0. So if you have an old piece of armor that you think works out pretty well, and you want to throw a super mod in that, keep a few. But honestly, I do not need to keep 25. I could probably knock this down to 5, figure out what I'm going to run in the raid, maybe 6 or 7 if I have a couple oddball pieces. But I can break this down. I can break most of these down into mod components because I'm going to need them when it comes to buying mods for the new stuff. So most of these I can get rid of. When it comes to armor components, keep any specialized ones when it comes to armor, but you're not going to really need most of those, including these. Opulent armor mods. These aren't going to be useful either. You're going to have to probably re-earn these as drops from the same content for them to be the reusable Armor 2.0 mods. When it comes to weapons, you need to keep one, just one, of every mod that you've got. So, recovery, don't care. Radar tuner. I can take this down to a stack of 1, and I will be fine. Because basically the way it's going to work is if you have one of these, if you have at least one of the weapon mods in your mod section right here, it's going to turn into the reusable mod just the way armor is going to work. So mods for weapons are going to be reusable, so you can kind of put them in interchangeably, but make sure you keep one. Do not delete the final one, keep one of these. So you've got major spec, you've got boss spec, you've got target adjuster, you've got minor spec. If you've got taken spec, hold on to that one, because I'm surprised I actually have this one. This is one of the ones from Last Wish. If you've got Dragonfly, if you've got Rampage, I don't need to have 4 of these. I just need to make sure I have 1. So any weapon mod, make sure you have 1 left in your inventory, and that is basically going to unlock that weapon mod to be reusable come Shadowkeep. So that's one of the big ones as well. Finally, we're going to get into preparation for launch. When it comes to preparation, we're talking about how much stuff do you want to store on your character to turn in when Shadowkeep launches? How many bounties do you want to store up? How many ballistics logs do you want to have stocked up so when you go to Ada, you can purchase 2 of the weapon frames and start, get 2 weapon frames. Now, one thing I'll say about Shadowkeep, the soft cap is 900, so you're not going to want to infuse basically anything until you get to there. And really, I wouldn't infuse anything until raid day anyway. If you're going to do the raid race, probably, the morning before the raid, infuse what you need to, figure out what your, 1 or 2 loadouts are going to be, and then everything else can probably just get, dismantled or not used. But ballistics logs, you're not going to want to go to Ada and do a powerful weapon frame until you've hit that soft cap, because that's still probably going to be considered at least some type of powerful engram. So these are going to be valuable, so you can just jump right in. Especially if you get towards that final day, you're pretty close to whatever power level you want to be. Hey, I need to, give me a powerful weapon. There's 2 weapons you can do. So ballistics logs are going to be a thing. Modulus reports, so you can do some of those other drops as well. Those might be valuable too. How many bounties do you want to hold on to? How full do you want this whole thing to be of stuff to do when it comes to bounties? This is completely up to you. Now, I will say, gunsmith bounties, do as many of these as you can between now and the launch of Shadowkeep, just so you have enhancement cores. I wouldn't hold on to them. I'd honestly just turn them in. But when it comes to Crucible bounties, or Vanguard bounties, or Gambit bounties, or daily bounties for Dreaming City, or Devrim K, I mean, you could save up a crap ton of bounties and just turn in a whole bunch of experience when it comes to Shadowkeep, and you might be, I don't know, 2 or 3 season ranks ahead of other people. It's not going to make that much of a difference, then 2 and 3 might even be too high. You might get 1 season rank ahead of somebody by turning in all these low level bounties. This is the point, and it depends on how much do you really want to prep. The people who are going for the raid race probably have their entire characters full of as many bounties as feasibly possible, all 3 of them. They have max ballistics logs, modulus reports. You've also got other things when it comes down here to, if you want to go get some of the, the wanted bounty from Spider, make sure you have enough ghost fragments so you can do that. On 3 characters, that'll take 15, so that's mostly the cap. Modulus reports, so you can buy those other weapon frames. Black Armory schematic, if you want to run that one and get some armor from her, you can get the Armor 2.0 version of the Black Armory armor. So those are all different things that you can work on. The final thing I will say, not final, I'm still looking through this list as I make this video, but one big thing, if you have a campaign that you haven't completely done yet, you need to finish that campaign. So if for some reason you have, like, my Hunter may have not finished the Mercury campaign, finish every campaign, the Forsaken campaign, the Mercury campaign, because when New Light launches, it's going to be for everybody. If a campaign is not done, it is going to start you over. So if you haven't finished the campaign on, like, your 3rd alt, yes, your alt's going to get bumped to 750, but you're going to have to play through the campaign again. So that may be something that's probably more worth your time, so that campaign is done, so you have the rest of your content, like the forges and all those things are completely unlocked. Because the Forsaken campaign, finishing that is one of those things that unlocks kind of annual pass things, so you can do them. So there's a lot that you can do, but there's also a lot that you can skip. Do I need to save up every Crucible bounty? No. I just have them on me right now because I haven't turned them in, but at this point I probably won't because they're not going to serve me any good. If you need planetary materials, go farm those. Ghost fragments for spider, those types of things, those are all optional. It depends on how crazy over-prepared you want to be. Pretty much the last thing is if you want to farm this week and you're pretty much done with everything else, the Chalice of Opulence is going to be dropping like crazy. The Chalice of Opulence is going to drop basically 4 drops through Friday of whatever you put into it. So say I want my hand cannon. Well, I'm going to go find my Rune of Desire, slot that guy in. I want a range masterwork. I'm going to go ahead and put that one in, and I forget which one is the Austringer. It's probably this one. I'd have to look up the picture and then go put my range masterwork in. If I go run the menagerie right now, even normal difficulty, by the way, doesn't have to be heroic, normal difficulty will drop me 4 Austringers. So I can get literally 4 chances at a roll right now, possibly 5 since my Chalice is completely done. And then on Friday, they're bumping up to 5 over the weekend, so 5, possibly 6. That's a lot of drops. So if you're trying to farm for a specific roll, you're going to get 4 or 5 at a time in these last 5 days, basically before Shadowkeep launches. So if you're going for a roll for Austringer, for Beloved, for Fixed Odds, get a couple rolls for the new, Drang and Might of Mini Tool. Those things, get a couple, do one of each. Armor, I wouldn't worry about at all. Don't mess with armor. There's no point. I'm actually not sure how armor is going to drop. But weapons, you can farm weapons if you want to. You could go to Reckoning. You can go to Gambit Prime if you're trying to farm a Spare Rations. If you're trying to farm... what is the other one? I think Spare Rations is this week. I could be wrong. The other one everybody's trying to farm is Soul Survivor. So if not this week, you can try and farm it next week. They changed the modifiers on that. So there's a lot of things you can do. There's also stuff you can pass on. If you've got an exotic quest for a weapon that you want to finish up, just check that box and then, you're done before the break. But Monday, nobody's going to be playing afternoon. So do everything you want to before then. So to recap quickly over everything, I'm just going to try and read this list and go over just about everything that I've got here in front of me. You've got Valor, Glory, and Infamy resets. Pinnacle weapons related to those in any way, shape, fashion, or form. If you want them done before Shadowkeep, knock them out. Anything worth Bright Dust, be it ghost shells, ships, sparrows, cosmetic armor, shaders. That's another one I actually kind of forgot to say. Basically, break down every shader. You only need 9 or 8 to basically max out your entire loadout. So get rid of every shader. You can use the glimmer, you can use the bright dust, you can use the shards for something else. Just get rid of every shader. You don't need them. And if you are maxed out on glimmer, go buy some raid banners and then keep breaking down shaders. And again, if you have Destiny Item Manager, you can type source : Eververse, and that'll give you a list of all those things. Eververse bounties and notes. Do some of those so you can earn a little bit more bright dust. Clean out your vault. Most of your armor is not going to matter. Save your favorable rolls. Keep your weapons until you know what you like and don't like with the new meta. All that stuff will be fine. Break down the stuff you don't feel like you need. Catalysts for any exotics. You can grind those out. You can have your ballistic slots, your module nodes from 801. Ghost fragments from Spider. Bounties for EXP if you want those. Gunsmith bounties for any cores that you can do those every day if you are going to play every day. Planetary materials, get a little stockpile of those for any infusion that you might do. Finish any campaigns you haven't. And then to wrap everything up, if you're done with all that stuff and you feel pretty good and you just want to go for some drops from the menagerie, play the menagerie, you're going to get a ton of drops from it. So that is everything that I would probably say that you can and likely might want to do when it comes to getting ready for Shadowkeep. So you got about 5 days. I'm going to just literally take this recording, upload it, and I hope this helps all of you out. So alright Guardians, that is basically everything I've got for the full list of stuff. You got 5 days. You may not want to do any of it. You may want to do a little bit of it. You may grind out everything before Shadowkeep so you are as prepared as possible. However you spend your last 6 days before Shadowkeep, take that day off, maybe have some sun, run some errands, because if you're going to be grinding that game a lot, that is 24 hours where the game is not going to be live, so enjoy your time to do something else and get into it. If you guys have not followed me on Twitch and Twitter, it's Ebontis on both of those. Definitely stay tuned about that giveaway as I stated. If you haven't subscribed here to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, that alert bell. That's a nice way to support me, and I'll have a ton of videos coming to you guys for Shadowkeep and forward. So thank you guys for all the support. If you like the video, drop a like below. It helps the video. And also, if you have a comment, question, thought, or any other thing that I may have missed, please comment below. Throw those down there. Thank you guys for the support. The subs are growing. Thank you very much, and I will see you all soon. Shadowkeep cannot get here soon enough, so I look forward to playing with all of you, maybe on PC if you're there. Have a good one. See you soon.